do you have any like guidelines or kind of rules of thumb to help sales teams and leaders kind of, you know, calculate that investment they should make in that follow-up, or what that kind of follow-up strategy might look like if they had a lead and, you know, maybe they had a discovery call or something and they didn't close? How much effort needs to be put in and what's appropriate to not push them away, but still be very clearly adding value?
Well, it's education. So it comes down to continuous touching. When I say touching, to get somebody's attention, you've got to touch them at least 18 times. If you read any of Jeb Blunt's stuff, he has categories and it can go up as high as 50 and 100 touches. The more we're inundated with stuff, I mean, we're overstimulated. Let's be honest. We got emails and texts and everything coming in. It increases that number. So, in the beginning of a client relationship or somebody's a suspect, I always say it takes 18 touches. And then usually the eyes get really wide and they go, you mean I got to pick up the phone 18 times? So I'm going, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that we got to figure out what is that customer journey? How are we going to help them find you? And how are we going to help them be warmer to you? And that, can come down to a business card. People go, well, why are we buying business cards? I don't know, because I got a great big stack of them that sit on my desk that I look at all the time and I see all the time. And that logo that's on there is so important because one day you're going to be out and about at some function or you're going to get introduced to somebody and they're going to say, hey, I know that company. They're not going to know why, but it's because they've seen your logo around. So on a business card, on social media, people say, well, I don't have many likes. People aren't liking and commenting and they're not following me. It doesn't matter. You're still there. They're still seeing it. Build everywhere you can put your logo, the better off you are. So that when, as your people or as you as an entrepreneur are reaching out, you become more and more familiar. I'm going to try to say this, but it's one of those words that tongue ties me. It's about the law of familiarity. I almost did it. I think I did it. But yeah, and I mean, you have to be familiar to people. So the more being persistent and being consistent in social media, but having a good solid digital presence that you're providing some value, some education. We all know what we do, don't we, Harley? We know what we do. But other people don't know what we do, and we can't assume that they do. And so you just share those things, little tidbits, little tips and tricks and interesting stats. And all of a sudden, when somebody picks up the phone and tries to schedule an appointment to come and visit and learn about somebody and their business and what they do, they're a little more open to it because they think they need to know this person. Or should I know this person? Obviously you've got me on my soapbox, Harley, so forgive me. But, one of my favorite things to do is to call somebody and say, hey, this is Beth McClary-Wolford with Superpower Strategies. And there's this long pause and the people go, they're trying to figure out if they're supposed to know me or not. Cool. That means I've done my job. And I got them to pause long enough to where in that first few seconds, maybe I can get them to sit down with me and visit. So it's not about who you know, it's who knows you. And that's really my strategy. The more people we can get out in front of, the more people we can meet, the more people we can shake their hands, the more people we can share a story with, the better off we are. And everyone has a compelling story. Everybody has a reason and a dream that they started their company. Sometimes people can't remember. And sometimes we need to remember. And sometimes that's all it takes is me sitting down and go, why did you do this? And they go, I can't remember. I go, well, we better start working on that so that we can figure that out. And because that's what gives you momentum and excitement.